On the last day of 2018, CPS Energy officially closed its coal-fired Deely plant. It's been open since the late 1970s. The Deely station was part of the Calaveras power station on the southeast side near 181 and 1604. The decision to close was made back in 2011 due to the plant needing environmental upgrades, plus a big push from the local environmental community. Sarah Acosta sat down with the CEO of CPS Energy to talk about how the power provider plans to move forward.
The Calaveras power plant now has one less active smokestack after 8 years of slowly phasing out the Deely plant. CPS Energy CEO Paula Gold-Williams says the much-needed environmental upgrades is what ultimately shut its doors.
From an environmental standpoint, it was the right decision.
The antiquated coal-fired plant was releasing large amounts of pollutants during its operation since the late 1970s. According to the U.S. EPA greenhouse report, over the past 10 years, Deely released an average of 4.5 million metric tons of greenhouse gases into San Antonio air. Gold-Williams says while CPS Energy is steering away from coal, there is another option being considered.
I think a lot of it will be focused on gas and then new technologies coming down the pipes.
San Antonio will still have enough energy despite Deely's closing. CPS Energy purchased the Rio Nogales gas plant in Seguin in 2012 to make sure enough energy could be produced for the city. CPS says they're not sure what they're going to do with the actual shell of the Deely plant, but say it will not be a coal-fired plant again.
We're having to do quite a bit of analysis because once you use that footprint for coal, it's pretty challenging to actually convert it to a gas unit. But we're looking at to see if the economics do work to do something else with that unit.
As for the Deely employees, Gold-Williams says they were put into different areas and are learning to work with new energy solutions. We also asked what the Deely plant shutdown could mean for energy bills. Gold-Williams says nothing should change since CPS Energy is moving more towards a natural gas solution.
I would tell you that coal is not the cheapest. Gas is probably arguably consistently great for reliability and very cost effective.
For the 9, I'm Sarah Acosta. And local environmentalists celebrated that closure of what they call Dirty Deely. And we actually spoke to one of those environmentalists from Climate Action SA, and here's what he had to say.
Once it goes out the chute, all of us are exposed and all of us are at risk. And that's what I think the message of global warming and climate change means is once it's out there, we can't bring it back in. So this is really a life or death issue.
Well, coming up on the Night Beat tomorrow, we actually hear from that group, and they tell us what they believe CPS should be doing. And we also speak to a resident who says she lives 4 miles away from the Calaveras plant and how this closure is going to affect her personally.
So for this environmentalist group, what do you think their biggest concern really is?
Well, one thing that they talked about with me was an EPA toxic release report that came out in 2017, and there's a couple of toxic metals on that report, including lead and mercury. And so they were saying, even though Deely has shut down, there's still another coal-fired plant on the Calaveras property, the Spruce plant. And they're saying, CPS shouldn't wait any longer. They should shut it down. And you'll hear all those details tomorrow.
All right, so this group feels like there's more work to do then.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's coming up tomorrow at 10. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.